merge. As it pertains to Ethereum Classic, ETH is moving to proof of stake, but what does that mean for ETC? Ethereum mainnet will go under integration into the beacon chain proof of stake system. This event is known as the merge. The merge will abandon the proof of work system, leaving a massive amount of Ethereum miners that will need to find another proof of work coin to mine. Ethereum Classic is the canonical proof of work Ethereum blockchain that will continue to be proof of work for the foreseeable future. So ETC seems like a natural choice for Ethereum miners to move to, as we've been watching more hash rate coming into the network, especially as ETH's DAG size has recently reached 5 gigabytes. Here's the Ethereum Classic chart up to 44 terahash. I believe it went even higher than that. We'll check in a second. So they're saying, you know, as a miner or pool, what do I need to do? If you're a miner or pool, then familiarize yourself with compatible hardware, software, and pools, mining resources. As an exchange user, what do I need to do? Of course, swashing hash rate from another network is not without its risks, but we hope ETC becomes an easy choice and dominant in its respective proof of work family. An ideal scenario would be a successful merge and honest miners supporting the ETC network. At this time, all we can do is monitor the network carefully and welcome miners to secure the ETC network. Here's the risk evaluation of the 51% attack, which is probably pretty relevant right now. Summary: the following chart and table provides rough estimates for the current expected attack costs and revenues. Estimates are derived from the configurable values below, along with the constant block time. The net with MES USD column can be understood as a minimum payout from the fraud that the attacker would need to break even the cost of the attack. So block reward 2.56 ETC with a price of $33 and a hash rate efficiency of 1.0099. And it says essentially that to attack it with MES, it'd be $2,000. $2,000? That doesn't seem like a lot. But, you know, once you get up to an hour, it's 63,000. Also doesn't seem like a lot, to be completely honest. So, doesn't look good. What is the actual likelihood, though? I think the likelihood of Ethereum Classic being attacked at this point is extremely low, because now with miners actually, Ethereum ASIC miners needing Ethereum Classic to make profit off of, they're not going to be incentivized to attack the miner anymore, or ETC anymore. And I think that's extremely relevant, because in the past, there was incentive to attack ETC. Now there's no incentive, and there's going to be more hash rate increasing the security on it. And most of these, or all of these ASICs can't really move to anything but ETC. So it is what it is, I think, at this point. As we've already seen, we've had a bunch of miners move over. Let's go ahead and look at the hash rates over to here. It is at 43 terahash a second right now. That spike up from the A10s there, ready to go. I think it'll be... I don't think it can handle everything moving over to it, but we shall see. I think GPU miners should move to something else. Dr. Delirious, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Casper doesn't think that the merge will happen even with all the counters. I mean, we already have a total terminal difficulty announced. I think it's going to happen for sure. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When ETH crashes after proof of stake merge fails, Vitalik, my balls will just launch a 51% attack on ETC just out of spite. Nah, I don't like. I mean, unless all of the miners go to NiceHash, which is possible, but I don't think most of the. I mean, your best bet, like even now, with the low hash rate currently on Ethereum Classic, I would be building my own infrastructure, right? Yeah, I mean, with Ethereum Classic and the merge, we already see the difficulty going up pretty significantly on Ethereum Classic, right? And like the spike in network difficulty that happened, right? Like at 563T, 563T, and that's only with A10s on the network, not with the rest of like the E9s and all of that. So once the E9s and all of that move over, this just gets absolutely fucking hammered. And from a GPU mining perspective, I just don't think it's a smart move to go to Ethereum Classic unless there's some significant price discovery, but I don't see that really happening necessarily right now. I think Ergo has a better chance than Ethereum Classic, at least in the next bull run scenario for GPU miners. Mom says, at Blind Run, you probably already answered that question, but do you think the ETH price will go lower or higher after the merge? I think initially it goes higher. Running up to the merge, and I mean, if the merge goes through and it's working, it stays high because nobody can actually unstake their ETH. So the dip doesn't really come until they announce unstaking, right? And the thing is like if you're not staked in ETH, once they announce the EIP to add, the ability to withdraw your stake, I think everybody that doesn't have ETH staked is going to dump. So you'll have an initial dump there, and then it'll probably climb back up as people try to basically pump the coin up before withdrawals happen. And then when withdrawals are enabled, there'll be a huge price dump, or as people unstake, especially if that unstaking happens during a bear run, or you know what I mean? If they don't allow unstaking till the bull run, that's probably their best bet. As far as all of that goes, honestly hope the ETH proof of stake F's the devs. Guess I'm spiteful. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that way, Casper. But I mean, it has been around. It has been like this for a while. Honestly, just kind of glad it's happening now and we can get it out of the way and be done, especially with all the censorship that's going on the Ethereum blockchain already. I don't, most of the top players in Ethereum, I don't support their principles, and I don't like what they do. So, and that goes across from projects like, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then all the way into the mining realm with Ethermine. Like, I think Ethermine's pretty effed up. Dr. Deliri says, what's a merge in the context of cryptocurrency? So the merge, so a merge is not really anything ever until Ethereum. So the merge, which is Ethereum, is basically, right now you got on Ethereum 2 chains basically running kind of independently. You got what's called like the beacon chain, which is your consensus layer. Okay. At least to be consensus layer. People are already allowed to like lock up their tokens in a proof of stake manner, but that's where proof of stake is taking place. It's on that consensus layer. And then you got the execution layer, which is currently proof of work. The merge is the combining of the consensus layer and the execution layer within the same ecosystem so that you now are on proof of stake completely. And basically what it means for us as miners is that Ethereum will no longer be mineable, right? So, and the problem with that, right, is that your like revenue on Ethereum daily outweighs any other coin total. So what that means is that as all the other miners move to smaller coins, the other networks can't really support it. So there's that. Twitcher says, any thoughts on CPU? Still got the rigs mining Raptorium on side. Hope Pulsar comes back. Pulsar is the only one everybody's looking at and waiting on, right? So that's pretty much what we're doing. Doctor, it is a big deal. So Heavy Flavor says, is it even proven that it's algorithmically possible to unstake? No. And you bring up a good point. It's not algorithmically, but it's not actually, I don't know what it would be called, but is that functionality even possible? If it is, they haven't told us how. So no, there's some big problems surrounding that, right? So I don't know. As far as the other networks go, I mean, a lot of people are trying to pump Ravencoin up. I don't see it happening. I mean, primarily because, like, look at this. The reason why Ravencoin has like a difficulty chart like this is in a hash rate chart like this, which a lot of people that are Ravencoin fans don't want to admit, is this is literally just unreliability in their algorithm. That's what that is. Like, the algorithm just is terribly unreliable and unstable. So that's why you see this just huge ups and downs in the hash rate every like few days or few hours, right? It's just a shit algorithm. Nobody that runs infrastructure wants to mine it. Nobody that's actually runs like anything larger than a single rig in their home wants to mine it. If it was rented hash rate, then you would go to mining pool stats.stream and you would pull up Ravencoin, and that it's just not the case. So you can see here, like, it going up and down. There's some here from two miners solo, but it's not big sways like that, right? You're going from like 200 gigahash to 275 gigahash, but these spikes that are happening here is, 700 to 1 gigahash or something. I don't see, like, this isn't like the Flux deal, right? Where on Flux, if we look at like the huge spikes in Flux that were happening, I don't even know if there's any that are happening anymore. No, it's not really happening anymore. Used to, Flux did have this problem. Well, here's a good example. So when the solos are really spiky, they're much more pronounced, right? The steady hash rate here is just up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's across like all the pools. See how the even the large pools get these big ups and bumps? I think there's a lot of issues with Kapow personally. But, if you can run it, that's cool. I don't really have a lot of faith in Ravencoin. I can't mine it, so is what it is. Probably a little biased as far as that goes. Ergo, I can mine pretty easy. But they have the difficulty issue, right? Difficulty just adjusted down, though. It looks like down to 1.5p, which is nice. And network hash rate's kind of all over the place. Ugh. Guess a lot of these smaller coins are having that issue. Ness I have, but I have to move it into a different rig. You're gonna see it today because we're gonna be messing with it. But it's on ETH right now. On ETH, it only does like 30 megahash a second. I have reports that it'll do 150, but I can't get it past. I'm having cooling issues. It sits around 100 megahash a second on Ergo. But today we're testing Caspa, so it's a little bit different. Flux, I think, has the infrastructure problem too. It gets a little hot.